Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over a late-breaking poll for the state of Wisconsin in the 2025 Wisconsin Supreme Court election that's up today, April 1st, on Tuesday. If you live in Wisconsin, make sure you get out and vote. This poll shows some interesting numbers in a very close race going into election day. This poll was conducted between March 28th and March 30th on 2025 and a respondents of 1,083 of likely general election voters, with a response rate of 5.4%, margin of error of 2.9%, and confidence interval of 95%. The methodology of the poll is conducted by the Trafalgar Group and Insider Advantage. I'll be talking more about them later on in the video, but before that, getting into what the poll numbers found was that in the election for Wisconsin Supreme Court, whom do you plan to vote for in the Wisconsin Supreme Court? Susan Crawford, the Democratic aligned candidate, has 50.8%. Brad Schimel, the Republican aligned candidate, has 49.2%. Wisconsin Supreme Court ballot. This is people that have already voted for the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Who did you cast your vote for? Those who answered already voted early or absentee. The Democrat Susan Crawford has 55%. Brad Schimel, the Republican, has 45%. I'll be getting into this part of the video a little bit later as well, but this has been consistent with the enthusiasm advantage so far we've seen in polling being more so on the Democrat side than on the Republican side, as all previous polls have shown. In the election for the Wisconsin Supreme Court, whom do you plan to vote for of likely voters, people who have not said for sure they're going to vote, but say they are likely to vote? Brad Schimel leads this group, 52.5% to Crawford's 47.5%. The overall synopsis for this poll goes into more detail about this, but a main takeaway here is that obviously right now Susan Crawford going into election day clearly has the advantage in votes. Going into election day vote, Brad Schimel may have a slight advantage over Crawford. The question will be how many people actually turn out to vote for Schimel and whether will those votes be enough to make up the margin. That's the question this poll is asking. The party representation in this poll shows Democrats with 37.1%, Republicans 36.4%, and no party/other 26.5%. The age participation of this poll has 18 to 29 at 4.2%, 30 to 39 8.6%, 15.5% are 40 to 49, 50 to 64 32.3%, and 65 years plus 39.4%. Ethnicity participation in the poll: Asian 3.1%, Black 4.5%, Hispanic 3.5%, Other 4.6%, White 84.3%. Gender participation: female slightly outranking males in this poll. There are 50.5% female, 49.5% male. On the website for Trafalgar that goes over the official synopsis of this poll reads the following. Trafalgar Group Insider Advantage Joint Survey, Crawford leads Schimel 51-49 in a very tight race for the Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice seat. Ground game for turnout will likely decide the race, 1,083 likely voters, margin of error of 2.3. Trafalgar and Insider Advantage both recently ranked near the top for 2024 and remain the leading national private polling overall by various rating organizations, released their survey of the Wisconsin Supreme Court race on Monday. The race is extremely close, and here is analysis by Matt Towery of Insider Advantage and Robert Cahaley of Trafalgar Group. Quote, these off-cycle elections or election races always depend on turnout. Among respondents who said they have already voted, Susan Crawford led by 55% to 45% margin. Among all voters who said they were likely to vote, Brad Schimel led by 53% to 47%. While the race is nonpartisan, Crawford is the backing of the Democrats, and Schimel is backed by the Republicans, including President Trump and Elon Musk. Democrats have used Musk's active participation through large donations as an issue to motivate Democratic voters, but Musk's involvement cuts both ways. Despite national surveys by pollsters who generally underpoll Donald Trump's support, in which suggest Musk is unpopular, our recent research found that Musk's job performance approval ratings are high and through the roof with Republicans. Musk also brings to the table talented experts who get out the vote effort in presidential swing states. In 2024 was quite successful. The wildcards in the race include whether voters on the GOP side feel as motivated for a Trump-endorsed candidate who has not held a rally with or had a presidential last-minute visit from Donald Trump. The Trump name on a ballot is a mandate replaced by proxy. Can Schimel improve upon his share of the white vote? For a Republican-backed candidate to win Wisconsin, that candidate must have a decent lead among white voters. Our survey shows the two candidates basically tied on that front as of now. Can the vote chasers work for Schimel, do their magic, and make up a clear Democratic early lead for Crawford. These types of races are difficult to poll as turnout is difficult to predict, and these contests are all about voter turnout and intensity. So how this poll factors in, well, obviously I need to address the fact that Trafalgar and Insider Advantage are two Republican-aligned polling firms and polls, so that does have to be taken into account when looking at this poll. It also should be worth noted that this is the highest numbers Crawford and Schimel did get, and it is true, Trafalgar and Insider Advantage did have very good polling numbers for the 2024 presidential election. They were in my top 5 polling firms and pollsters of the 2024 election for how they did compared to the actual results. But that being said, that doesn't always mean they're guaranteed to be correct, as we saw in 2022. In 2020, things are always hard to predict on that front. But this continues the trend of every single poll that's been conducted for the Supreme Court race have all been done by Republican-aligned pollsters. And even with this poll being only a 2-point race, it still shows the Democrat Susan Crawford leading in every single poll, except for 2 polls which had Crawford and Schimel tied, and one of them was back in early February, and from Tip Insights and Remington Research poll, which showed a lot of undecided vote, which has since come in, and it seems most of it is broken for Susan Crawford. The recent polls by Trafalgar has it at a 2-point race, SoCal Strategies has it at an 8-point race, Tyson Group had it at 5, Tyson Group before that had it at 8, On Message had it tied. The race is really all over the place, and the question really comes down to, are the Democrats or Republicans more motivated to turn out and vote for Crawford or for Schimel? That's what's going to come down to. And based on the actions of this week, where you've seen Donald Trump and Elon Musk both voicing their support for this, Elon Musk going to Wisconsin, I believe, to try and rally votes for Brad Schimel, to me that says the Republicans are desperate because Schimel is losing, that they're making such a last-ditch effort to go to Wisconsin and try and get votes out for Schimel. To me, that says the momentum's on the Democrat side, and the Democrats have an advantage in this race so far. And all the polling data so far showing this race, the Trafalgar one does show a close race, so maybe there's a late-breaking trend in Wisconsin that's showing the race is narrowing up going into Election Day, but all the prior polls showed this is more likely to be a likely Democratic win than to be a, say, under 1-point Democratic win. But again, as the poll mentioned, it's all about voter turnout. Do the Democrats that are supporting Crawford actually turn out to vote? And do the Republicans that say they're going to support Schimel, do they actually turn out to vote? That's the main thing we're watching in this race. Right now, though, as I see the polls and all the information around it, it's hard not to argue this seems like a good, strong position for the Democrats going into Election Day today. We're going to obviously count the results and see how they come in, but right now I do think this still seems to be very good news for the Democrats, even with a 2-point race being very close. This is the only poll in a long time that's had this race being very, very close. So definitely good news for the Democrats. As for what my prediction is for this race, if you are interested, in my prior video yesterday, or 2 days ago now, I did do a prediction for this race where I had Susan Crawford winning in a likely Democratic margin, around 5.5% to 6% margin of victory. This poll has narrowed things up, so maybe Republican enthusiasm is increasing a bit, but I'm still banking on the Democratic Party being more motivated to get out and vote, especially against Trump and Musk, and I think that would be enough to give Crawford a little over 5 points win in the state of Wisconsin. But we're going to have to count the votes and wait and see. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give the video a like. Please remember to leave a comment below, tell me your thoughts about this video, and make sure to click subscribe as I post at least one new video every single day that you are not going to want to miss. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.